right. Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of that Super Fan Talk podcast. Sean could not make it tonight, so he asked me to step in. Astonishingly, I think this is actually after, 6 years together on the podcast? I think this is the first time I've actually taken over this show. Worst internship ever. This is that Super Fan Talk podcast. I presume we just played an intro. I don't know how he does it. I'm just going to host it. I'm not going to edit it. But tonight we are going to be bringing back an old favorite of mine, at least, and hopefully of the fans. It's Sci-Fighters, where we get some contestants from some group of people or entities, pit them against each other until we determine who's the ultimate winner and the best of the best of the best. If it were me, I would just get to the show, but I told Sean that I would try to do him justice. So we'll start by chatting randomly about what you've been watching lately.
I know you love this.
I watched Infinite on Paramount Plus. That's the one with
Oh wow.
It's not Matt Damon, it's the other guy. Who's
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, yes. And the premise is there's a certain group of people, like 300 people on the planet, who can remember their past lives and therefore access all of the skills that they learned in those past lives. Cool premise. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua, who's a great action director. Looked very good, looked very stylish, clearly very expensive. Writing was shit. It was bad. Like, it was writing like the dialogue itself was bad, which I mean, it was bad. It was written like a 90s cartoon, like an 80s action cartoon. That was the level.
But you also had an actor that could maybe barely rise to the level of an 80s actor.
Also that.
I mean,
I have enjoyed him in other action movies.
Is a deal breaker, in my opinion.
He's not a deal breaker for me. Depending on, I expect him to be at the level of, 80s Schwarzenegger or Arnold or any of the other. It's not a stellar performance. You're there to do action stuff and blow stuff up, which I guess technically he did. The sequence of events in this film was so dumb and predictable. Either one of which would be maybe. I'm a forgiving guy. You guys know this. If I'm watching a film, I am looking for the best in it, because I'm with you, Scott. I'm like you. I'm like, you know what? People made this. I haven't made a film. People, no one goes out to make a shitty movie. And in a lot of ways, this movie wasn't shitty. But in more ways,
these days, but yeah,
it was shitty. I don't usually quit on a movie. Sean wrote and he said, I fell asleep on it. But I do that a lot these days. I didn't fall asleep on it. And it's so not infuriating, just disappointing, because it had good actors in it, or at least a good actor in it, not Marky Mark.
And that's the thing. That's what bothers me, almost more than anything else. When we're talking about Mark Wahlberg movies in general, I haven't watched Infinite yet. I don't know if I will, but he can be good.
He can be fine.
He did an admirable job in Renaissance Man. We're talking about early Mark Wahlberg when he first started getting into acting. Renaissance Man, he did a decent job in. That was that Danny DeVito.
Three
movie.
Kings. That was him too, right? Was he?
Yes, he was in that.
He was good.
And
he was in that. That was a good movie.
And taking the headlining role in what is arguably my favorite movie, which is Boogie Nights.
Well, see, this is the thing. That's why he snuck under my radar, because Mark Wahlberg was playing an insecure douche who was a bad actor in Boogie Nights. And then I realized he was just playing himself. And it was the role that was made for him. And I watched him and other stuff after this saying, oh, this is going to be great because Boogie Nights was so good. And I was like, oh my God.
Let me be clear.
This is unwatchable. I can't.
Mark Wahlberg is not the reason this movie wasn't good. Mark, it isn't. He isn't. I want to be clear on that. Mark Wahlberg, I don't even know if he was the worst actor. The lines that he was given were terrible lines.
Oh, were they Lucas level lines?
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. It was like this is in my head. I swear to you, I am rewriting the movie as I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all he had to say was this. There is no reason for them to do this thing that they're doing. All they had to do was this. This thing was obvious. Why did they have to do all that to figure it out? Clearly, it's that. And then it's that. Okay, all right. Is this the character that's going to die? And then that character dies. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
How many episodes? This is a limited series, I'm assuming, right?
It's a film.
Oh, it's a film. I thought it was a series for some reason. Right.
No, because it's on Paramount Plus. That's a reasonable presumption.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of stuff this week. So, a lot of movies and things. Anyway. I have my own vitriol. I don't have to channel Rick.
No.
I mean, I try to be, but you mentioned Marky Mark and all bets are off.
Sean asked if Chris was playing the right part of Rick tonight. I think we all know that each of us has our triggers. Apparently, we found Chris's.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes was not as bad as it was because of Wahlberg. I think he did as good a job as anyone could have done.
That was him.
Movie.
Yeah, I actually didn't. There were parts of that movie that were dumb, but overall, I was entertained by that movie. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I didn't feel. I was fine with it. I thought it was fine. In fact, came out 15 years ago. I guess I do know that I won't watch it again.
Just let me, for the record, this is maybe the second or third time one of us has said, I forgot Marky Mark was in that movie, which is probably the best thing we could say about one of his performances. It was so innocuous that I forgot about it.
You know what? The fact that you still call him Marky Mark clearly shows you will never move on. Like there's no redeeming.
I didn't even know him as Marky Mark. That's the funny thing. I'm too old.
Man has made like 15 films, Chris. I don't know.
One of them was maybe good.
I think my favorite part of the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes was not even on screen. It was behind the scenes. One of the extras who was playing one of the ape warriors in his full ape costume and whatnot, walking across the lot. And he looks over and he sees Tim Roth. They're between shots, and Tim Roth is just sitting off to the side having a cigarette. And he sees the extra sees him. Tim Roth says, "You want a cigarette?" And the guy says, "Sure." He doesn't smoke, but of course he's going to take a cigarette so he can, share a smoke with Tim Roth. And then later, at some other point in the shoot, the same extra, still in ape costume, trying to sneak a snack. Ironically enough, a banana. And he's having a lot of trouble navigating this banana. And who spots him but Helena Bonham Carter, who is rather amused at the difficulty he is having in eating this banana in an ape costume. And the reason I like these stories is because that extra is someone that I did community theater with here in town. We went to we attended rival high schools. We had a college class together, and we did a couple productions at the local community theater together. Then he moved out to California. He was on the new Press Your Luck, I think. And I think he won. So he's doing okay for himself. He does like live comedy shows and whatnot out there. So good for him.
Can I just state they've started shooting shit outside now.
Yeah.
For the record, just for what it's worth, foam latex is incredibly flammable, and the fumes from that shit are so toxic.
Oh,
Smoking in that outfit was not the best idea.
I will say, however, I cannot confirm whether or not they had their prosthetics on their face, or if it was just the body costume. It's been quite a long time. He wrote these stories in a newspaper article that ran in the local paper, and this was round about the time that the movie was coming out. So it's been that long since I read these stories. So who knows?
All right. Anybody else got something they want to trash in the next 3 minutes?
My wife and I have started watching the Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Plus.
Fantastic.
Yes. A friend of mine who is much more into comics than most humans on Earth. We got together for lunch last month for the first time since the lockdown, and he's like, "You've got to watch this show," and I didn't even know it existed. And so he gave me a list of episodes to watch, but we always, if we're going to watch something, we start at the beginning. And the first episode was like, all right, we are going to say F as many times as possible just to make sure you guys get the idea that that's where this show is going. But after the second episode, it took off and we're really enjoying it. It is not for kids at all. They shouldn't even be in the room.
No, not at all. Even the stuff that's innocent is not for kids.
No.
I want to toss out the fact.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, Sean writes in, says he finished Sweet Tooth and that it's great. I'm sorry, go ahead, Scott.
As far as Harley Quinn, I want to toss out the fact that I have started that as my workout show. I will start an episode and then I will be on the rowing machine until the credits stop. So I'm using that as my workout timer. I've gotten a few episodes in. I'm enjoying it as well. And yes, also not for kids. I'm going to need, in a second, I'm going to need 10 seconds to go grab another can. But first, not something that I want to trash, but something that I want to upvote. By a recent recommendation from a friend of mine that will hopefully be listening to this episode, I have started watching these are shows that I never heard of. One, possibly both of them, are Amazon originals. But one of them is Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, which is...
You're just finding that?
Yeah, I'd never even heard of it.
I thought for sure you'd have been all over that when the first season came out. Season 2 is still okay. Oh, wait. I'm thinking Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, is there a season 2? I didn't think there was a season 2.
No.
I tried to watch Electric Dreams and
I've tried to read a lot of Philip K. Dick and I've stopped at about 5 books. I'm just not.
You just not that into Dick?
I don't grok. Thank you, Rick.
Someone had to do it.
I have nothing else to say.
They didn't though.
Yeah, not really. So
what's the other one, Scott? I'm curious.
I'm one episode into Electric Dreams, and so far it's fine. The first episode was nice. I'm definitely in to check out some more. And the other show, it's another anthology series. As far as I can tell, these are half-hour episodes. It's called Solos.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. That is, it is definitely a. I'm sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to jump on it, but yes,
no, go for it.
We watched it also, maybe a few weeks ago, and it's really, really good, really good. 6.
Can someone give me the premise?
Yeah. Well, it is anthology. It is glimpses into people's lives who, for whatever reason, are isolated at this moment. Or it's the little vignettes.
I can tell you trying not to spoil it.
Yeah.
So is it more of like a mosaic kind of thing?
It's like, it will remind you of Black Mirror. So
I didn't see much of Black Mirror, so
then it will remind you.
I think I only saw the Choose Your Own Adventure Black Mirror.
Then it will remind you of The Outer Limits.
Okay, that I can buy.
I think there's 6 stories, maybe 7 stories, but
I just love how you just spoke old to me, and I was like, yeah, I get it.
I'm multilingual. I speak quite a variety of nerd. Again, I don't specialize in any particular fandom, but I'm a general practitioner, as it were.
The perfect host.
I try. How many have you watched, Scott?
Just the first one with Anne Hathaway.
Mm-hmm. They're all good in their own right. Some are great, but I don't think there's any bad ones, and I will not speak more on it.
I enjoyed the first one. I checked out IMDb right after to see if there was any trivia for that first episode, and then I saw the review score on IMDb, and I looked at a couple of the reviews, and I just saw like a big run of 1-star reviews, which I can only assume are Anne Hathaway haters who just showed up to trash the episode.
Oh, for that episode?
Yeah,
that particular episode?
Just for that episode. People complaining about her performance, her tone and delivery, just the way she went about putting the character across, and then one really impressive IMDb commenter who's led his review with, "I wrote a similar story that was much better."
Well, great.
Welcome to fandom. Hello.
I'm sure you did, fella.
Yeah.
Now, really quickly, because I think, John, you suggested this show, Manifest. Was it you that said?
Is that the Cheryl Teague's airplane show?
Is Cheryl Teague
something from the 80s? I think
Manifest is the airplane.
Who
Is that the airplane gets
it disappears for 5 years? Yeah.
I did not suggest it. I think I have only seen a part of one episode.
I'm thinking of a bad movie I saw where they were rescuing people from airline disasters to repopulate the future.
That sounds terrible.
Supermodels doing it, and someone out there will know the name of the movie. It was terrible.
If Scott doesn't know the name of the movie, then it's not worth knowing. Scott's
a little younger than I am, not much, but a little.
I believe you overestimate my bad movie
Millennium
fluency.
It was called.
It was Millennium. You know what?
You all knew it. I'm not that old.
That movie's not that old. I never.
I have the vaguest of recollections of that movie. I never saw it all the way through. I think I only saw bits and pieces. Now the show, Rick, that you're talking about, Manifest. I know that was a much more recent show.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
that was like last year.
Yeah, last year.
No, there's 4 seasons of it.
I saw a lot of promos for it. I never watched it though.
I thought I remembered, John, you mentioning it. My wife started watching it today, and I watched a couple episodes. But if none of y'all recommended it, then I'm not sure who said to watch it. So
I feel like it wants to be like Lost, or maybe Fast Forward.
It's like Lost meets the 4400, and it's a puzzle show. So if that's the kind of thing you dig, that's cool. It's just not my.
I mean, Lost to me is much maligned because people didn't like the way it ended. But to me, Lost was always a character study built into a puzzle show, and I found both of those things intriguing. So I have very fond memories of Lost. I don't care that we never got to know what the Dharma Initiative was. I don't care that we never got to know what the Hatches were about. I just enjoyed seeing the characters and like all of their foibles. And the puzzles were an interesting way to wrap all of that stuff up.
I liked Lost better when we had Marianne and Ginger, the professor, and.
I mean, Dawn Wells is a force to be reckoned with, sir.
No, I've never said Lost was bad, but I couldn't get into it. I think I watched the first episode and pretty much checked out after that. But it's just that's just not my thing.
Liked anything that came after, because the first episode was, I thought, really good TV, and what kept me going, and everything from the first episode built and built and built and built and built. Mm-hmm. So I kept with it until the very end, and I loved it till the very end. I didn't give a crap.
It was a truly innovative television storytelling method.
Like, I have to step away for a second.
I'm not going to say no one's ever done it before. I can't say that, but I will say in my lifetime up to that point, the use of an ongoing story and so many characters who the technique of the flashback, of the different flashback in every episode, they like, it's commonplace now, but that didn't happen. Like, no one did that before that I know of.
And all of the characters, you were like, "Oh my god, this is a Jin episode!" And at the end of you were like, "Jin is my favorite character," right? Oh my god, this is a son. Oh, yeah. And every time you went in with reluctance, it was almost like to me like reading short stories, because to me there's a hurdle to get over, like settling into a story. But then when you do, if that story can deliver, it's like the best thing that you've ever read. So every week it was almost like getting over that hurdle of, oh, it's this character who I didn't until tonight find interesting. But all of a sudden they're amazing. Yeah.
It was such a...
Except for maybe Claire. I could do without Claire, but...
I mean, there were various characters that I could have done without, but it was still...
I don't mean to dump on Claire. I'm sorry, Claire. I'm not a Claire hater. Anyway.
I don't think we're gonna get any letters. I think it's fine. Sean points out that Bill and Ted Face the Music is on Hulu now, which, yay, but also unfortunate, because literally last weekend, I rented it.
Oh, you? I saw it on a flight. So
I paid to see it on demand because, like, you know what? It's Father's Day. I hadn't seen this yet. Click.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it. I felt Ted's performance was Keanu Reeves' performance was a little wooden.
I think
for the character, but also, they clearly established that the years have beaten these people down.
Yeah.
So I was fine with it. I was fine with it.
Sean is saying that all the Lost haters can go fly a kite, and all I'll say to that is I've never watched an episode, so I can't hate the show.
You would like the show.
My uncle, who is Hawaiian, was an extra on the show more than once, and I still haven't watched an episode.
Are you actively not watching it, or you just haven't watched it?
I'd say 15% active, 85% just haven't gotten to it.
For what it's worth, if it's worth anything, I think you will enjoy the show. I think you will like the onion peeling layers. That is where it shines.
It would be tough at this point because all the twists. Yeah, it became such a part of the pop culture vernacular that virtually all the twists and turns are already there. Like when I see Mary, was that the Hobbit? Mary was he the one on the show, or was it Pippin?
The boat.
Kate. Her name was Kate in the show.
No, he means.
I'm sorry.
Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah.
It's Penny's boat. It's not Penny's boat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be a surprise to me because
the thing is,
I've seen that.
But at that point, you're going to love his character, Charlie, so much that you're going to be devastated.
Yes, and you're going.
Folks, I'm sorry I mentioned Lost. This is my fault.
I feel like it's my fault.
All right, then anyway. let me do my hostly duty.
All right.
Yeah. And
Sean, we know it's not Penny's boat.
My first duty is to remind you that we are doing sci-fighters, where we will pit commercial icons against each other. My second is to ask Rick to explain his title. Mine says John. Chris says at Quantum Leap Pod. Scott says Scott. Rick says loin girder.
Because I girded my loins for this battle.
He's girding his loins. Right. Yes.
When I first read it, I skimmed it. I thought it said long rider. I'm like,
I will admit it does not look as clear, having been written out, as it seemed to be in my head when I
listen. If you can work loins into just like conversation, you've already won. So
all right.
Who on this panel knows what it actually means to gird your loins?
We're not gonna go there.
It means to clench everything because you gotta.
That's
stalwart.
Chris, I just told you not to engage.
I know, but it's Scott. I know he knows, and I know it's going to be a story.
I know you know. He knows you know that I know that he knows that you know. We all know that he knows. But I've already wasted half an hour.
Wasted.
Well, this is why I don't do this at the start of the show. I run a tight ship, people.
Maybe it's hyphenated in English, Sean, but this is in Old Gaelic.
He said gay lick. Anyway.
Cut
that out
all
of
right. So I've tried to match up combatants on what I think would be, a reasonable physical match. I've got a couple of wild cards, and I've got one boss battle at the end. We have 16 combatants going in, not counting the boss battle. And since there are 3 of you, we'll do majority rules on who you think should win in a match between the 2. Sabe?
Sasa.
Yeah. I was going to say I have a fan on for both John and Scott, but
Wait, what? All right.
Anyway,
I've been behaving myself tonight.
You have, by comparison, you've been very
And I did not get Chris drunk this time.
I'm not drunk
I know.
yet.
half an hour in. Let us also know. I'm sorry, half an hour and 1 minute in. Rick has not said. All right, here we go. First bout.
Fight.
Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes fame, versus the Charmin Bears, the entire family.
Oh God.
Oh.
Which I believe is the mama, the papa, and the baby.
Yeah. No. It's
There's
not
3 of
really
them,
a
but they are quite
baby.
gentle.
But now, is this just going to be a free for all, or are we going to each go, or how do you want to do this?
Let's do this. Let's assign each fight to one of you.
Oh, that's right. That's how we do it.
You make your determination. The other 2 weigh in on whether or not they agree.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So who's
All right,
got this?
Rick, Lowenbrow.
Do they even make that stuff anymore?
Lion girdle. Hit it. Tony,
All right. Tony the Tiger seems like a really cool, friendly dude, but he is ripped and he is an apex predator. Now, granted, bears are too, but the Charmin bears are way too concerned with butt comfort, and I think that they're all we're soft and cuddly and our buttocks are a little disjointed because our toilet paper sucks, and then Tony's just going to come in and absolutely eviscerate all of them, and so they will say, does a bear shit in the woods? And he will say, yep, everywhere, because their intestines will be strewn for miles.
That was graphic. Scott, yay or nay on Chris's interpretation? I'm sorry, on Rick's interpretation.
The instinct is to say yes, he's right, but I think even though the bears appear gentle, Tony appears gentle as well.
True.
So I'm sure that the bears, even if they seem nice, they're still bears. They still have some bear instincts to them, and there's more of them than there is of Tony. I think that if they let themselves get mean, they also have the advantage of numbers. I think that the Charmin Bears come out on top.
All right.
So disagree.
Chris?
I'm sorry. Tony would wipe his with the Charmin Bears. So, and he'd have the bandana to back him up if they weren't in it. And I don't think they would be because he's Tony the freaking Tiger.
I'm on
Team Rick with this one.
All right, that is 2-1. And for what it's worth, I agree. I think here's how I see it going down. I think Tony would take a lead early because he's an athlete. Like that's what he does. They're used to relaxing. Before they realize that this tiger means business, they'll see the look in Tony's eyes. The mom would leap in front to protect the child. Tony takes out the mom. The bear goes into rage. The papa, does his best. You got a Goku Gohan situation, but in the end, this is not going to matter. Sean says the short analysis is that it's in its DNA of the cat to take on big prey and kill them quickly. The bear's DNA made them better for defense and scavenging. Look at Sean with the science.
Right? Wow. I was just talking about butts.
Scott.
Yep.
The Burger King versus Captain Morgan.
Ooh. I think I would have to side with Captain Morgan on this one, because while the Burger King may have experience at being a monarch, doesn't seem to have a whole lot of experience in battle, whereas Captain Morgan is clearly a pirate.
Clearly.
He has opened some gullets in his time. Before he got into business peddling spirits. Yes. He was releasing spirits. Captain Morgan is a killer. Burger King is just some pampered royal with a really creepy big head.
Chris?
See, now I'm trying to think of the Burger King from the 70s versus the creepy big head Burger King pantomime that came along sometime in the thousands.
I'm unfamiliar with the Burger King from the 70s. He was like just a dashing dude, right?
Yeah, but see, I'm gonna go with Burger King because especially the Audie's Burger King, who is he's a sneakster, he's a prankster, and he's kind of like a bad dude. And Captain Morgan is always on one foot because he's got that leg raised. He's got no center of balance. Burger King, he just got to hip check him. He's got to sneak up, hip check. That's it. Captain Morgan down. Stance. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Rick.
Coincidentally, got a little of the captain going on right here. Captain and I are old friends, but I'll tell you, you get on his bad side, he will mess you up for days. I have experienced the captain's wrath, and
holy sugar, Rick.
I was not okay in the morning.
No. Whereas the Burger King, the magic Burger King, if you will, and the big difference between the 70s Burger King and the now Burger King is the 70s Burger King actually was magic. He had this ring he would turn, and then shit would happen.
I wasn't familiar with it. What would it like?
It was an actor who looked.
I mean, like what magic? Are we talking abilities? Like he would make food appear?
I'm trying to remember because I had a feeling you'd ask that. I think it would just transport them to some sort of almost actionable but not quite McDonald Land mystery area.
It was the Burger Wars. Yeah, right?
Yeah. But
the realm of no infringement.
Magic Burger King got his ass kicked by a clown because while Burger King still exists, you don't really see much of that mascot anymore. And I think Ronald kicked his ass. And if a clown can beat the Burger King, then the captain, who at the very least is carrying a cutlass, and
on one foot,
you say he's off balance. I say he's not even scared to take one to the Grundys because he's just that tough.
Are you saying that foot is raised to just give like the Danielson kick at the end of Karate Kid?
He's like, I'm gonna
kick you in the balls.
I'm gonna dick slap you if you get too close to me, is what it's saying.
Another dick joke.
All right.
I don't think that we can.
When you have a promo where the soundtrack features "Return of the Mac" by Mark Morrison, you have some street cred. Burger King for the win.
I have no idea what that means.
So if we knew who Facebook user was, we could have some insight.
I assume that was Sean.
I think that we cannot credit any success of McDonald's over Burger King in this particular battle because, well, that's one economic kingdom.
That's a very good point.
Claiming victory over another. We're talking about
this is
personal. We're talking about personal combat.
Is that
Burger
a false
King
equivalency?
It is
versus. And also, Captain Morgan, I'm sure, is armed. And if it looks like the fight isn't going his way, he can call in his dollar store version doppelganger, Sailor Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. I also think Captain Morgan carries a pistol. So I'm sorry.
I think you're right.
There you go.
Burger King goes down.
All right. We got a lot of these to get to.
It's going to be a long night. You better settle in, buddy.
Did you think this was going to be quick?
You are the host.
That is
Did you
literally
think that came with no
why I
responsibility?
had Chris on the show, so we can have a 2-1 majority, so we could avoid things like this. Captain Morgan.
Ooh. Okay. All
right. Chris, this is you.
Yes, I'm your useful pawn, is what you're saying. Go ahead.
We'll see. Fight number 3. By the way, that was my cousin James who made the Return of the Mac comment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my cousin. He's my nephew. He's just so much. I remember him as like a little kid. He's not a little kid anymore. Sunrise, sunset.
You okay?
I'm all right.
I can refresh my drink. What?
Round 3.
Okay. My baby cousin's youngest kid just graduated high school, and I cannot cope with that.
Round 3. Chris.
Yes.
The Fanta Girls.
Do you want?
Don't you want to Fanta? Go ahead.
Yes.
Again, 70s or 2000s? Go ahead. Did
they change significantly?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Just point of order. They're called the Fantanas.
The Fantanas. Whichever one you feel most familiar with.
Rick is
versus.
Older than me. Go ahead.
Good Lord.
Older than everybody.
Mr. Clean.
Oh, Mr. Clean kicks ass all day long. He's going to win the competition. No explanation needed. Mr. Clean, done.
All right.
He's got the earring. He's got the scalp. He's got the clean. He's got the t-shirt. He's got the muscles. Mr. Clean all the way.
All right, yeah. Rick.
I got to go with Mr. Clean. I love the Fantanas. It's one of the few. It's the most obnoxious commercial ever, but I just adored it for some reason.
Can't imagine.
So a funny story about Mr. Clean. I went to Mexico, and I was there with my then girlfriend and her sister, and I used to wear an earring. I used to wear a gold hoop earring, and people kept saying "Señor Limpia." I didn't quite catch what they were saying, and then my girlfriend's sister said they're saying Mr. Clean. I was like, and I thought that was hilarious because I am not in any way other than bald and with an earring.
That's all you need.
I was going to say you are every way,
but I'm not 6 feet tall and built like Superman. But I got a kick out of it. It was funny.
Scott.
It's no question. It's Mr. Clean.
All right. Sean, this.
Sean says Mr. Clean wouldn't hit a woman. He wouldn't have to because all the women would say, "A man who cleans." Oh. But
and faint dead away.
Yes.
All right.
I am John's useful idiot. Yes.
Congrats, Rick.
Yes.
The Aflac duck.
Aflac
versus the Limu emu.
The what?
Do you know the Limu emu?
No.
Limu emu.
You have to know the Limu emu.
I've never heard of that. What is Limu?
Liberty.
Okay, I've heard that one. I didn't know they had an emu.
It's an emu.
Well, if it's an emu, then it eats the Aflac duck.
Do you know what an emu is?
I do know what an emu is. It's a 6 foot tall giant monster bird. They're sweet. They're cuddly, and they're 10 times larger than a duck. And if they have to fight a duck, I'm sure they'll eat it.
Okay, Scott.
It's hard to fight that logic. How does one overcome a size differential of that scale? I do.
Well, I'm thinking that the Aflac duck seems more sentient than the Limu Emu. The Limu Emu he's basically just an emu. Affleck Duck seems to have some cognitive ability. I've seen him hold money. I've seen him work machines.
I hold money and work machines too, and bears don't. I still don't think that I'm coming out on top in a bear fight.
What about an emu fight, though? And plus, let's not forget the power of flight.
I would not bet on me. In an emu fight, I would not bet
Fly
on
up and
me.
land on the emu's head?
I guess that's pretty much all he could do.
I will get. Okay, I'll give you just a quick amendment because I had no idea what the Limu Emu's mentality was like. The Affleck duck would be smart enough to go and fly away.
Yeah.
There you go. Folks, 42 minutes in.
All right. Yeah, I'm just cut out the part where I said it, so it'll be you first. Ha ha ha.
So then probably 41:20.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Didn't ask Chris.
Well, it was already. All right, Chris, do you agree?
Affleck Duck is my call. I'm sorry.
Damn you! How? Why?
Because Gilbert Gottfried. I'm sorry.
He's not the voice of the.
He was.
He used to be.
He wasn't until
He
he
was.
became hashtag problematic. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that man. So
He's
probably a very nice person. I just
loved.
Are you
I
telling me you think
I was a Gilbert Gottfried fan for a long time, and then he was the
Sure.
Affleck Duck, and then he became persona non grata. But I don't know. I just think the Affleck Duck. But
Okay.
it's still 3-1, right?
it is?
So you can move on. We don't even need to examine this. Because
right.
then it becomes
You're right.
hashtag problematic for me if we
Well,
examine it.
well, not even that. I'm just. I'm like, do you think that
No,
5 foot something Gilbert Gottfried will be good in a fight? Is that where you're going?
this is anyone who loves Gilbert Gottfried loves Gilbert Gottfried. I mean, he's the parrot in Aladdin. I'm going to talk your language now, John. There you go.
I know who he is. I'm familiar with the Gottfried.
one of the many reasons I hate Aladdin too.
Oh my god.
Anyway, again, cut all this out because it makes me sound like an insensitive ass, more so than usual.
I'm gonna cut it out because Rick is trying to get my goat. All right. So who that was? That was Rick. So back to Scott. Right? Back to Scott. Captain Obvious. Versus the Where's the Beef Lady.
Oh wow!
She definitely brings a lot of clout with her cultural significance, but she is also pretty frail and always has been.
Yeah.
She never looked like she had a whole lot of physical strength to her in her original ads, and those were back in the 80s, so she's considerably older now.
She's very dead now.
Metaphorically, character-wise, these are characters. Get off my back. And Captain Obvious, if he holds the rank of a captain, then he must have had some type of training, so I'm going to give the edge to Captain Obvious.
But by the rank, based on the rank of captain. All right.
That and the fact that he seems to be an able-bodied person, and the Where's the Beef Lady is clearly an octogenarian. She's not winning fights.
All right. Sean says they would just debate each other to death.
She's certainly not eating fights with all the fast food that she eats, obviously.
She would ask where's the beef. He would say it's in the hamburger. Obviously.
Winner.
Everyone agree? Captain
No.
Obvious?
Nope.
Interesting. Chris.
Okay, Captain Obvious is too obvious. He's too self-aware. He is a quote character. Where's the Beef Lady is blithely unaware of what she would Quincy Magoo his ass. She would just like stomp all over him without even realizing it because she's the Where's the Beef Lady, driving her car recklessly through drive-thrus and plowing over Captain Obvious without even not even knowing, not even realizing while he's trying to make some dumb joke. She would win 100% of the time because she's not in a fight.
That's interesting. The indomitable, impenetrable plot armor.
It's not even that. See,
Go ahead.
Because Chris gets these people half the year, and I get these people half the year. Because in the summertime, they live in New York, and in the wintertime, they live down here in Florida. And growing up in South Florida, I have almost been killed by many Where's the Beef ladies. Because Captain Obvious is a superhero, so he's not going to physically beat her up. Because she's yeah, sort of.
Is he?
I think he's
I
very
don't
much
think
a
I've
self-aware
ever seen him
mascot.
even move.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he's going to say something, and she's just going to blithely ignore whatever he's trying to convince her of, and it won't even be like driving over him with her car because that happens a lot. I have a friend. The day she got her first car, two old ladies turned from the middle lane into a funeral home right across in front of her. She hit them and they went, "What do you think you were doing, young lady?" That's what South Florida is like. It's like Dawn of the Dead on the roads. But anyway, she would just absolutely get him to have an aneurysm because she would just keep ignoring what he was saying and just saying the most ludicrous, insane things from the inside of her head because she can't see anything that's beyond her. And I should live long enough to do that to people when I get old enough to take my revenge. And so, yeah, no, right. Where's the Beef lady wins.
That took a turn. Okay. Chris. Mrs. Butterworth versus the Budweiser Frogs.
You know what? So easy. Mrs. Butterworth she would roll right over them. I mean, she doesn't have feet. She would just, like a steamroller, just squash their brains right out of their dumb heads as they say, "What's that?" Because, you know what? She's got a family every morning with pancakes. That's work. I mean, pancakes is not eggs. It's not toast. It's work. You need eggs and milk for pancakes. And flour and butter.
Right.
I mean, Mrs. Butterworth, 100%.
Girls get it done.
That's right.
I see nods of agreement. Is that agreement?
Yeah.
Yes, because they're goddamn frogs.
Well, Mrs. Butterworth is a good Louisiana mom, and those frogs are going in the pot.
Oh, shit. Once again, that took a turn. All right.
I'm way too far north for that, but yes.
I think John had the right reaction. Oh, shit.
Rick.
Yes.
Flo, the progressive lady, versus Jeffrey Giraffe from Toys R Us.
Oh, wait a minute. Toys R Us. That's Jeffrey's Toys R Us, right? Not Lionel Playworld. I worked for Playworld for one day. It was the worst job I ever had. I didn't even go back to get my paycheck for the day I worked. It was awful.
I don't know of Lionel's. I don't think we have that around here.
I think they're long gone. And I'm not surprised the way they ran their business.
Lionel's Playworld?
Playworld. They were competitors to Toys R Us for a little while.
Yeah, here in New York they had Child's World, which was a competitor to Toys R Us. But they used to have commercials on Channel 11. Anyway, tangent. Go ahead. So is it Jeffrey or Flo?
Flo. Well, yeah, I got to go with Flo because giraffes can be dangerous. If you those hooves can do a lot of damage if you manage to get in a position where they can hit you.
Well, he is a stuffed giraffe.
That's true. He's a mascot-ish.
He is big. He is big, but I imagine he's quite plush.
But Flo, I suspect that Flo has at least 2 or 3 black belts in various martial arts. As well as a lot of weapons besides that price gun. I would not cross Flo.
It would not surprise me at all if the price gun had a phaser setting. She seems like she lives in that kind of reality.
And So I think that given the people Flo has to work with every day, I think she snaps Jeffrey's neck in a heartbeat, just without even breaking stride, because she just doesn't have time for that kind of crap.
All right, Council.
Yeah, Flo's got moxie.
And to me, it's a draw, so Flo wins.
All right.
She's got spunk.
He's
All
got
right.
knobs on his head.
So this is special round number 1. Well-known characters who have sold out. So Snoopy, spokesdog from MetLife, versus Bart Simpson, who peddled Butterfingers. And I'm trying to remember.
What's this go to? Whose question is this?
That's a good question. I think this is Scott, right?
Yes.
And I think I can't remember if Snoopy is Snoopy or Joe Cool, but we'll say either.
Well, I'm going to bring in a different persona because, yes, he was Joe Cool. Yes, he was Snoopy, but he was also a World War I flying ace.
That he was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Snoopy wins. Bart Simpson was an underachieving little punk, and Snoopy is a war hero. Snoopy wins.
Or was he a delusional dog? Because the doghouse didn't really leave the ground.
Well, even if it was delusion, oh, Sean, you can just get out of here with your Bart man. You can go take a walk. You and your bargain basement superhero, Bart man. Psh, whatever. Snoopy has way more soundtracks than that the Bartman song. I
don't think he was referring to the Bartman song. I think he was referring to the Batman-like character that Bart Simpson occasionally portrays. All right, Scott says Snoopy.
Also, he's a dog with teeth. He's a dog.
All right, Rick, thoughts?
I think that while Snoopy puts up a good front, and if it was a battle between a Sopwith Camel and a Fokker triplane, I might bet on Snoopy. Bart's not afraid to cut a bitch,
or son of a bitch, as the case may be.
Also, we have not.
Thank you.
We also have not seen Snoopy's junk on screen, whereas Bart cannot say the same. I think Bart wins. Did you not see the Simpsons movie?
I mean, I just don't see how that's relevant.
No, neither do I, which is why I didn't say anything about it. But apparently, it's penis, so it must get a mention somewhere.
Sure.
Why not?
Sean said Snoopy was not actually a war hero. Not a war hero. He was pretending. And Bart has a slingshot. So I'm guessing that means that Sean would vote for Bart if he had a vote, which sadly he does not.
Am I the tiebreaker?
Yeah.
All right, mark this 55-25. Snoopy all.
Sorry, Sean. I'm not editing it. Sorry. I just did it one time. Then
Give you a time code.
Yeah, I don't write that stuff down.
And also, for no other reason, Joe Cool was cooler in a day than Bart Simpson has been in 30 years.
Woodstock was cooler in a day than Bart Simpson has been in 30 years.
All right. Okay, get off my lawn. I got it. All right. So, second round of matches. Let's see how I want to match these. Ready? Limu Emu versus the Where's the Beef Lady.
Go out.
Let's take it back from the top. Rick.
Oh, me and the damn emu again.
You want to pass? You want to give it to somebody else?
No. I'm fine with it. I mean, she can't confuse the emu because they have little teeny tiny brains, so he won't care what she's saying.
Just as a point of reference, he regularly wilds out on the commercial. Like he has a partner. The thing is, it's basically it's like an '80s buddy cop thing. This is the thing with these commercials, and so the partner will be doing cop stuff and talk to the emu. He'll turn to the emu, and then the emu is just an emu in a in a shirt and tie. And he'll just, he'll be attacking the dashboard or whatever because he's an emu.
Does he like jump up and do that weird emu freak out run around thing?
On occasion. Okay. On occasion, yeah.
I think that's the most awesome thing ever to see is emus playing. Emu. It's great. Emu just pecks her to death. Emu wins.
Sean asked if the emu comes with Doug. Doug is the name of the partner.
Oh, okay.
I would say no. I would say it's emu solo. Limu solo. All right,
yeah,
you vote.
Emu wins this one because Where's the Beef Lady cannot annoy it to death.
Yes. All right. So Sean says you put the Fanta Girls as a group, but the commercials are Limu, Emu, and Doug. I'm aware of what
Sean
I did.
is really, really invested in this emu.
Well, yeah, I know what I did, Sean. That was on purpose because it would take potentially all of the Fanta Girls to bring down Mr. Clean. All right.
I can hear Sean just in his headphones. You're doing it wrong, John. You're doing it wrong.
You gave me the keys. You can't be complaining if I make a mess. All right. I'll clean it up after. Do you guys agree?
Emu.
Emu.
Yeah.
All right. Emu
Yeah.
it is. All right. Mrs. Butterworth versus Captain Morgan.
Ooh.
Scott.
Oh my God.
I want to do it live. I want to give the edge to Mrs. Butterworth. Yes, Captain Morgan is armed, as I established in the last fight, and probably has some experience in combat. Mrs. Butterworth, she's just too nice. She's too sweet. She would calm him down. She would offer him some breakfast. She's sweet and delicious.
I'm not sure where you're going. So who wins the fight?
I think she wins the fight because she would eventually it would be charm and disarm with a delicious breakfast of pancakes, and she'd pour a little bit of herself over them. It would. All right.
She would talk him down. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. By the end, you'd be so carved up with pancakes and sugary syrup, he would be in no mood to fight.
He'll just go to sleep. All right.
At which point she can smother him with I don't know. Didn't she have like a fluffy hat?
No,
like
maybe some French toast. She'll smother him with French toast.
There you go. That works.
Rick and Chris concur or nay?
I agree, but for different reasons.
I just feel like this is a battle of sweetness, and he's just like sweet alcohol, and she's just pure sugar and maple syrup, maybe maple flavor, not even really maple syrup, right?
No,
I mean,
no real maple.
There's no real maple was harmed in the making of this condiment.
No, you don't get real maple at her prices. No.
So I feel like the real sugarness of her gives her an edge over the woozy sugarness of the Captain Morgans.
Okay.
So she cuts him.
I just go back to, first of all, I'm picturing a sword versus wooden spoon battle a la Inigo and Wesley. But like I said before, you do not piss off a Cajun mama. She's taking him down, and he's going to have to go pick his own switch after the fight.
All right. Chris.
And bottom line, Captain Morgan is on his bottle. Mrs. Butterworth is the bottle.
Right. Fair enough.
That's a winner. Her commercials with her on the bottle, that's what made me want that syrup more than all the others. Log cabin, go to hell with your log cabin syrup. It's Butterworth.
Chris.
Yep.
Tony the Tiger versus Mr. Clean.
Oh,
Now that is a
I
battle.
would pay to see that.
Wow, I am honored. I don't know if I'm worthy to even. Wow, holy.
We're all here with you, Chris. We're all here with you.
Oh.
God, this should have been like the final.
I mean, I just gotta say, Mr. Clean is just like a clean dude who's pretty buff. It's a tiger. It's a tiger hopped up on sugar.
It's a tiger who lifts, bro.
It's a tiger who's hopped up on sugar and loves kids. Mr. Clean doesn't care about kids. No, it's got to be Tony.
But Mr. Clean is also kind of magic, though. Like, can he go 2-dimensional? That'd be handy in a fight.
I don't know. Well, he could maybe make Tony's fur magically cleaner as Tony's mauling him. He gets his own blood out of Tony's fur, so it's not matted when he's done eating him. That's what I'm thinking Mr. Clean's best ability will be. I give you this gift as I die, as you eviscerate me. Tony the Tiger.
There's just a clean spot on the floor when he's done. Does the council agree?
Oh yeah, very much so.
He's a tiger. Yeah,
He's a tiger. And Flo versus Snoopy. Scott.
I know I was definitely talking up Snoopy last time around, but this time I think I have to go with Flo because, yeah, Snoopy would be Snoopy and Joe Cool and the Flying Ace and probably a few other, like Flash Beagle. He was Flash Beagle as well. But I think Flo has shown the ability to take on a wider variety of different characterizations in all of her advertisements. Sure. I think if we turn this into a battle of imaginations, I think Flo would still have him beat.
Okay. Council?
Oh, Flo kicks Snoopy's ass big time.
And I think, like, can they negate each other? Like, I feel like Flo and Snoopy would hold hands and dance off into the sunset together.
They probably would,
right?
But
they would feel unnatural in this face-off, but I believe they are compelled.
All right, listen. Then
they would wound, not kill. I guess is what you're saying.
And if we have to pick someone in this one, I'm just going to go with Snoopy because I feel like Flo would concede. Because it's Snoopy. I know that I'm losing. I know it's 2-1, but
that's actually probably true.
Well, also remember,
go ahead.
Flo represents an insurance company, which means she has no soul.
So does Snoopy.
Snoopy was MetLife.
Yeah, and what's MetLife?
That's true. Oh wow, I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Has no soul. That's harsh.
That's why I think they're like perfect match for each other.
All right. Based on the
it's like a Batman Joker situation we got going here.
The eternal rule of 2-1. I'm gonna give it to Flo. All right. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Down to the wire. Limu Emu versus Tony the Tiger. I think we know how that's gonna go.
Next.
Yeah, the Discovery Channel has answered that question for us.
We have a sentient tiger versus a normal emu. Next.
Flo versus Mrs. Butterworth.
Flo.
I say another wedding. I don't know.
I think at this point, Flo breaks out the ninjutsu and just it's like she just upends Mrs. Butterworth and just dumps her out all over the docks.
Scott?
I think it's Mrs. Butterworth. Yeah,
Why?
Flo's got moxie, but Mrs. Butterworth is still she can still bring the mama.
Chris?
This is so difficult. Oh my god. What do they all bring?
Talk through the process.
All right. At the end, Flo is just trying to sell you shit. Where Mrs. Butterworth is like a nurturing, caring, I want to help you be better.
See, I feel like
by nourishing you with sugar.
Exactly.
I
sugar,
feel
though,
like
I mean, it's not her fault. That's just how she was built.
Mm-hmm.
Be it true or not, the character of Flo is always trying to help you. Like she's almost compulsively like she can't.
She's trying
stop.
to help you by
She can't
selling
take a day
you.
off.
She's trying to help you by selling you her version of Amway. Like it's like she's got an agenda. It's progressive or you're fucked.
But okay,
107.15.
look at the headline of this show, man. They've all got an agenda. That's the whole point. They're all trying to sell you something.
I still
And
go
what
with
I've been trying to
Butterworth.
say is Flo is secretly evil.
I don't know.
And we want good to triumph over evil. And
It doesn't matter what we want.
syrup is sugar, and sugar is good.
Okay.
I mean, I do like syrup and syrup on a Monte Cristo.
Ooh, hey.
Okay. So for the record,
Now I want one. And all the Bennigans that would ever serve Monte Cristos in town are closed.
yes,
Damn
I
it.
think all the Bennigans everywhere are closed. Pretty sure. Rick, so Flo or Snoopy?
Flo.
Oh,
Where do
I
you
thought we said Flo or Snoopy. I said Snoopy with Flo or Snoopy. I thought we were doing Flo
right,
or
sorry.
Mrs. Butterworth.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I lost the Flo Snoopy round.
I lost the flow. Actually, I meant to make this joke earlier that yes, very thick syrup is constantly at odds with Flo. But I never made it, sadly.
But I'm going to use it to say Mrs. Butterworth.
I
right.
think Flo beats Mrs. Butterworth. But
All right, Scott, you got the tiebreaker.
We're still on Flo versus Ms. Butterworth?
Yes.
Ms. Butterworth.
All right.
Philistines.
Well, I almost feel bad because I feel like Flo might have had a chance against Tony the Tiger. But as it stands, it's Mrs. Butterworth versus Tony the Tiger. I don't see how she can win this. Anybody want to convince me?
I can convince you
Go for it.
because Tony sells sugary shit for people to eat for breakfast. And Mrs. Butterworth is sugary shit for people to eat for breakfast. I feel like she beats him at his own game.
Okay, but this is a physical contest. Like, I mean, I hear ya. All right, what do you guys think?
I think
Rick?
Tony absolutely tears Mrs. Butterworth apart.
I think he
You
will
may
rip
even
her
feel
head
bad
off
about
and
it
drink
later.
her and drink her vital organs.
Actually, cats can't taste sweet, so they don't care.
Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
I assume. I'll take your word for it.
I haven't verified that fact. I picked it up somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but it's certainly based on my cat's activities. It sure seems like they couldn't care less about sugar. So I think Mrs. Butterworth's one attack, if you want to call it that, aside from the wooden spoon and guilt, wouldn't really work on Tony.
Scott.
I want to lean towards Mrs. Butterworth on this again. I like Chris's reasoning of she has the superior sugary product. But I also think that by the time she has gotten through all the previous battles that she has emerged from victorious, that she would be able to just lift up the spoon and stare down Tony and make him realize that.
All right.
So, Scott, what is your answer? Is it Mrs. Butterworth?
Yes.
He says Mrs. Butterworth.
Yeah,
I have avoided stepping in largely up until now. And I love me some Mrs. Butterworth. But let me paint you a picture. Final two combatants on the field. She's got attitude and a wooden spoon. He's an iron pumping tiger. Think about this.
Is there anything to the fact that also that she is made of glass?
This is
No, I think
Here's
she's
how-
plastic.
Hefty
she's
solid
plastic.
glass.
She
She used to be glass.
Here's how this is going to happen. even if you give her like a plastic regenerative bottle, every time he bites her, he will taste sugar. It will amp him up more. Every attack weakens her and puts him into more of a berserker rage. It's like fighting Rogue. Every time you hit her, you get weaker. There is no, plus Tiger.
Yeah. And
Well, let me
frosted flakes, in case you didn't know where they came from.
Yes, the
let me
Frosted Flakes
explain
Tiger,
because
who is all about fitness.
I have all through this I have said that Mrs. Butterworth doesn't put up with any other human's shit because she's a
Big bad mama.
backwoods Creole badass Cajun mama, but when it comes to giant cats of prey, she was just like,
Yeah.
I feel like Tony the Tiger was the de facto.
Well, I believe I mentioned a boss level.
Uh-oh.
So Tony the Tiger is the winner of the heat. Meanwhile, in their own private arena, we have the Jolly Green Giant versus the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Scott, thoughts?
That's kind of a tough one. I mean, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was menacing while he was just walking through the city, but if we're just looking at size alone, the Ghostbusters were not big compared to him, and they just had their individual weapons, but still did considerable damage to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which means while he is big and can be devastating going through a city, he's not necessarily very tough.
He is made of marshmallow.
He burned pretty easily, and then he exploded.
Sure.
point of order.
He didn't show a whole lot of
Those were
fighting
like
prowess.
antimatter beams they were hitting them with.
Still, they weren't huge antimatter beams.
They don't have to be.
and you could see that they certainly, as I said, caused a lot of burning, a lot of damage.
He did burn.
So he didn't have a lot of defenses, and he didn't really have a lot in the way of offense, except for stepping on stuff. Now, the Jolly Green Giant, we don't see him do much attacking in his advertisements, but he is pretty fit.
He seems to be a large green human, made of presumably, well, he's got plant-like hair. So is he like made of plant? Is he like a big celery stick? Is he like a humanoid vegetable? Or is he made of meat? Not that I know that it would necessarily matter, but I suppose we should probably figure that out.
So whose question is this?
This is to the group
specifically.
Right. Scott thinks. I assume you're giving it to the Jolly Green Giant based on that.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'd just get in there with his hands and rip the Marshmallow Man apart because he's marshmallows.
He's a Marshmallow Man. Chris.
Jolly Green Giant. I mean, Stay Puft is a giant bag of empty calories, whereas even canned vegetables are better for you than Stay Puft. And Jolly Green has both canned and frozen vegetables.
You're basing
He's
this
just
on
a pillar.
Nutritional value.
Yes, he's a pillar of vitamins and strength.
Rick.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Rick. I'm outvoted, but I disagree because yes, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man did get set on fire by the proton packs of the Ghostbusters, but that did not even slow him down until they reversed the particle flow through the gate.
And that wasn't even directed at
streams.
him. He was just a victim of the blowback from that.
So he was just an on fire marshmallow, still climbing up the building to kill them.
More slowly though.
Sean says the Jolly Green Giant is loaded with sodium.
I think that the Jolly Green...
His canned version, yes. His frozen version, no.
I think that the Marshmallow Man just dives on the Jolly Green Giant and absolutely engulfs him and smothers him in sweet, empty, carcinogenic, preservative-laden marshmallow goo. And it suffocates it.
Sean says Stay Puft is literally called the Destroyer.
Well, there's that.
I mean,
too.
you guys aren't wrong. I mean, you make very valid points.
He is placed in the role of the Destroyer.
Scott
He is not actually the Destroyer.
Here's what
Yes,
I think.
he is. He's Gozer. He just Gozer. They chose the form of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for Gozer.
Here's what I think. You're not necessarily outvoted because we're all weighing in on this one. I actually agree with Rick. Initially, at first, I agreed with the logic of Scott. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is soft and squishy. Jolly Green Giant is at least fibrous. He's tough. Tough versus soft. Tough wins. But
I believe he also has more agency and awareness than the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I don't know that to be true.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is Gozer, an ancient being of destruction.
I would say, from what I've seen them do, I would say they're at least on the same level. I've seen actually, no. I think Judge and Guy has talked on occasion, but he doesn't really do much. If they were to fight, if they were to actually fight, even if the Jolly Green Giant is more fit, even if he is smarter, his punches will be absorbed. His head would sink into the Marshmallow Man. And as Rick points out, they would get stuck. I think they're probably equal height, or Stay Puft, I think, is actually probably taller. Because he was as tall as not just a building, a skyscraper. And I don't think Jolly Green Giant's that tall. I could have looked this up. I didn't. I imagine Stay Puft, if they are equal, at least equal height, Stay Puft would just it's fighting a blob. He's fighting a blob. He's gonna get stuck. He's gonna get smothered. And even though he will continue to struggle, he doesn't have any energy attacks. He doesn't have a proton pack. He's just punching and kicking, presumably. So unless he has some poison ivy make the plants grow power that we've never seen, he's just gonna get consumed and absorbed into the Stay Puft form.
I can say this: maybe the Jolly Green Giant could shoot corn from his fingertips, which is almost
just making up powers.
equally empty calories to marshmallows, but with fiber.
Sure.
I'm
just glad you said fingertips. I was really worried where you were going.
I mean,
I'm a gentleman,
yes.
sir.
If we're just gonna make up abilities, yeah, then we haven't. Maybe he can shoot marshmallow, maybe, but we can't go on that. All right, I'm gonna do a quick Google search here. Jolly Green Giant height.
It's gonna say giant height.
55.5 feet tall.
Who said that? Where did that come
coming from?
Google says this.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Google Stay Puft Marshmallow height.
He is just short of Vulcan and
just short of Vulcan?
The infinite
Vulcan? It's an actual statue. This is an actual statue.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
we're the only person who has ever asked this question.
Come on, are you kidding me?
That's what sets us apart from the rest.
Have you met the internet? Jinx. All right, Stay Puft height.
That we're all grown men having this conversation.
Dude, the first time I played this game was at Magic City Con 5 years ago. And the winner of the game ended up being Tribbles. This game can go anywhere.
He is literally twice as tall 112 and a half feet tall. I love they put the half feet in there. Yes, Sean points out that Vulcan is a statue in Birmingham. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Jolly Green Giant, I think, is an actual sculpture but that's what we're basing this on. Even if we give him, even if we increase that by 50%, he's still not everywhere. So Stay Puft, he's punching at Stay Puft's, like he's punching up to hit him in the belly. There's no, and he is the destroyer. And he stepped on a church. I mean,
can't argue with that. I cannot.
Goes to the Kazarian, goes to the Destructor, Vulgus Sildrada, the Traveler.
Yeah. So at this point, the door opens. Tony the Tiger looks up and up and up and up and leaves.
It feels like the floor of a taxi cab.
Again, empty calories versus empty calories.
Yeah.
Stay Puft has to win that.
Yeah. Again, I mean, obviously, whichever one won this fight was going to beat anyone else in the other fights. So, the winner of his weight division, Tony the Tiger. The winner of his weight division, I assume it's a he. Oh, yeah, it's the Marshmallow Man. We'll say that they both identify as male. Stay Puft and Tony the Tiger, co-champions of their individual weight classes.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, kept it to an hour and a half, roughly. Oh, shit. Well, I was supposed to do that's what John says? Whatever. Rick.
Yes.
Does anyone else have anything else they want to add to the conversation? Let me see how
you're asking me if anyone else has anything to add. I don't know.
No, well, hang on. I gotta think about the part that I never pay attention to because it's not about me. But this is the part where like Sean like talks about other people. Give me a second.
But in a nice way.
No, right? Yeah. He gives others the chance to shine.
John, just so you know, we're all still here when you close your eyes.
All right, I guess. You say so. Whatever, Figment. So that's gonna. I'm channeling Sean right now, but I'm not gonna do the accent because I don't want to be mean. That's gonna wrap things up for this episode of that Superfan Talk podcast. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Rick, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you. Well, Open the Iris. I just put out a new one, and I did just put out a new Admiral's Table, but I absolutely screwed up and lost a bunch of shows I recorded, so it's going to be a little while before there's another Prime Direction. But
yeah. Super sucks, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm not happy.
We feel your pain.
Thank you.
Scott, thank you for being here.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to participate in my very first Sci-Fighters.
Yay. Woo. And why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
People can find me here on Sean. It may be a surprise, Sean, but yes, some people would say you have an accent. You can find me on occasion right here on the Superfan Talk podcast, right here on That Star Trek podcast, right there on That Star Trek podcast. Former host of the Prime Direction and upcoming host of I'd Watch That for $1, the still in development podcast that I will be doing with a rotating panel of individual guests as we discuss movies that I have found and purchased at my local dollar store. Soon to be occurring schedule changes might allow me to start recording that in the relatively near future. If I can find people that are available to record on Monday nights. So keep your eyes open right here on this network for that show. I'd watch that for $1. And if you're interested in checking out any of my graphic art work, you can find my website at www.planetrisecreative.com. I do fake movie posters, social media avatars, banners. You can see a lot of my work in various places here on the Infinite Potato Alliance, as well as, if you don't mind my saying so, Chris, the Quantum Leap podcast.
Awesome logo.
If you don't like visiting the website, then you can find me on Twitter at Planet Rise.
Okay. And Chris, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining and being the. I'm just gonna say the third guest, not the. What'd you call it? The omnipotent stooge or something? What was that?
I don't know. I'm your useful idiot.
Useful idiot.
You got me on. You got me on just because you thought I would be some kind of, I don't know, stalwart against these two. I'm not sure. But anyway, either way.
I like omnipotent stooge a lot. I'd work for that at that
Listen,
title.
Useful, omnipotent. I'll take either. It's fine. Idiot, stooge, guilty.
Well,
anyway,
he brought you in because if it was just a debate between me and Rick, we would have gotten through 3 rounds, and then we would have had to call it for time.
And then let the record show that I am trademarking omnipotent stooge right now. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but someone's going to have to pay me for that.
Album title.
Yes. I'm sorry, Chris. Please proceed.
I am a host of the Quantum Leap podcast, and you can find us at quantumleappodcast.com. Tune in quick because we only have 4 episodes to go until the series finale. So we're rounding up. God, I can't believe we're there, but we're there. More to come, a lot more to come, but I've
enjoyed you guys for years.
I know, and we've enjoyed having everybody listen to us. quantumleappodcast.com.
All right. As for this show, this is that Super Fan Talk podcast. You can find other episodes wherever you found this one. On all your standard podcatcher stuff. I think there's a recording. He used to say Announcer Nate. I don't think it's Announcer Nate anymore.
That's
I know how
it's Brock.
Brock is gonna come on and say some stuff. Thanks, Brock. As for me, I do normally host not this podcast, but another podcast on the network, Captain Game Show, of which these 2 gentlemen are often guests as well. Trivia Wordplay podcast. That's going to do it for this episode of that Super Fan Talk podcast. Tune in next time when you might see if John has something to say. Oh, here we go. I got one. Tune in next time when you might hear me say, that sounds dumb. Tune in next time when you might hear me say, you might hear Sean say, you might hear John say, you know, sometimes when I'm feeling down, I just imagine a conversation between Groot, King Shark, and Squirtle. And it just makes me laugh every time. Have a great night, everyone.
Cap.